So, because it's quarantine and we have nothing else better to do with our lives, I just decided to sit down and rewatch all of the Owl House because why the frick not? And while I was rewatching the Owl House, oh, I had such waves of nostalgia for a show that came out this year. Nah, doesn't sound right. But regardless, this is a great show. I love this new era of animation that's bringing in these wide-eyed girls going to magical places and fighting monsters and having lessons about found family and wait a minute. Yeah, if all these shows sound the same, they pretty much do. And that's okay to a certain extent. Every show sounds the same and looks the same these days, but it's the execution is what draws me in. And with the Owl House, their execution of the episode, which is before Wizards, is my favorite episode and is honestly the best episode of the entire show. So far, thus far. But that's just my opinion, so that means I'm automatically right. I'm not going to just sit here and summarize the episode, what happened. No. I'm just going to give my whole in-depth analysis. My opinions, if you will. Nah, I wrote notes, so this is going to be a shit show. Let's get into it. Because everyone's seen the Owl House at least a dozen times, if not. We all know how people watch it before other means on Disney Channel, Disney Plus, other means, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway, the second episode to me is just really tight, it's clean, and it just breaks Luce's reality to fantasy. And I love it. And it's just the message, but we'll get there. Like, the episode starts with, Luce dreaming of literally the first episode, which honestly is the weakest episode, but I'm not going to go into that. Everyone else has dug their grave into that. It summarizes the first episode, and with a different kind of framing device, which is before Wizards, could have been the first episode, but it's perfect the way it is. To me, the Owl House, the strength is within their characters, in the dynamics of each character. So rewatching season 1, I just loved seeing the interactions between Ida and King, Ida, Luce and her friends, Luce and the Owl House gang. It's great. I could just watch a whole 30-minute episode of them having a bottle episode. Okay, I'm getting off track again, damn it. Episode 2, it does a better job of showcasing those dynamics and personalities of the characters. King being tyrannical yet adorable little demon, and Hootie being Hootie, I guess. We see Luce's personality shine through, in just the first few minutes of the episode, showing, not telling us, the audience, her weirdness and her interest in fantasy. Unlike in episode 1, where the message of weirdos gotta stick together, it's great, it's nice, I'm not gonna bash that message. I love that. As an autistic person who thinks differently and often feels like an outcast, I love that message. But boy, was it not subtle! Which is all I'm gonna say about that for now. I don't have really much to say on the first episode, and everyone seems to agree that it was not the strongest start. But with episode 2, it was like the show fell down a hill and picked itself right back up. And I love throughout the entirety of the episode, we see Ida kind of being neglectful, being kind of shrug-offish, forgetting who Luce is, even though they literally just met yesterday. That she goes from kind of being neglectful and shrugs her off to forming more of a caring bond throughout the episode and really caring for this human, and she stops calling her human and just referring to her as Luce, her name. It's really sweet. But Luce, bless her soul. Luce is very eager to be a witch. We see that. We love that. We stand that. And she really wants to live that PG fantasy life in this demon realm. And she thinks that there's some sort of special reason or a special destiny as to why she's here on the Boiling Isles, instead of a freak accident or coincidence, which really what it was. She just happened to be at the right place at the right time, I guess. Because plot. But the realities of being a human in a magical world, ironically put, doesn't make you any more or less interesting than the demons who live there. It's like visiting a different country. People will be curious of your culture, your traditions, and want to pick your brain here and there. But after a while, they're gonna get used to you. They're gonna shrug you off. But when Luce gets to meet, like, the wizard, he reverse gaslights Luce to believe that she is the chosen one and tells her everything she just wants to hear. Something like along the lines of, there's no mistake that you're here, that she's the chosen one, that there's a special quest only a human can do, and you're the only human on the Boiling Isles. This is your destiny. You are that super special someone. Just really feeding into that PG fantasy desire Luce has. But, like, when Luce tells this to Ida and King, they lived on the Boiling Isles their whole lives. They know the real deal of this realm. And they know there's, like, no such thing as, like, a chosen one and all that. It's just ridiculous to them. Which makes sense because, to Luce, their world is like a fantastical fantasy where anything can happen. It's all magical and butterflies, ooh-woos. But to them, it's quite literally a living hell. It's not all that fun and bright rainbows. But Luce being Luce, ever so optimistic, ever so with that teen angst, she goes off on her little journey. And you know what? I'm happy for her, even though she's kind of getting tricked. Look at her. She's just having fun, meeting all these companions, really living that RPG life. But I love seeing the parallels of Luce enjoying her time on this quest, having fun and whatnot, while Ida and King slowly discovering the truth behind everything.
3 cheers for the chosen one. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip!
Oh no.
Are you sure she came here? Can't mistake her smell. Like lemons and young naive confidence.
It builds, oh my gosh, it builds such great tension in the dramatic irony as us the audience. We know like something is wrong because we're following Ida. But when we go back to Luce, now we're like, we are starting to get concerned. What's going to happen to baby girl? It's beautiful. I love it. I love how it all came together in that climactic end. Also, side note, I love that Ida eats the squid at the end. Like, there's like no plot for revenge, no chance of redemption, just a bad guy getting his comeuppance. I miss that. Can we go back to that? Not every bad guy needs redemption. Steven, we have such a conflicting relationship. Oh, also what Ida says at the very end of the episode is the message, but I love it so much.
Look, kid, everyone wants to believe they're chosen. But if we all waited around for a prophecy to make us special, we'd die waiting. And that's why you need to choose yourself.
Ida's last line in the episode is just the cherry on top of this wholesome pie. So, in my ramblings, I guess in the end of that, I saw the episode as them playing with the idea of the reality of living in a fantasy world akin to the demon realm. And Luce is just like us. I don't understand why people don't like her. I don't understand why people are more keen to like Basha or even Amity. Yeah, Amity is interesting, has a lot of like parental stuff going on, and I'm excited to see what's to come in season 2, but like, why does no one like Luce? Luce is literally us. Is that why y'all don't like Luce? Dude, hating yourself is not a personality type. Luce is literally us, wanting to feel special and accepted, despite all of like our weird behaviors and quirks.
I thought being the only human in a magical world would make me special, but apparently it just makes everyone want to scream at me or eat me. When I decided to stay in this magical world, I thought I was meant for something special. Yes! I am the chosen one! I knew it! I always suspected there was a reason nobody understood my wacky antics back at home. Now I have concrete proof!
She couldn't get that in the human realm, but in the demon realm, they weren't having it either. It was a lose-lose. It was a loose-loose. And honestly, if not for Ida and King, our girl would have ended up eaten. She would have been dead on sight. You know, as a character, I relate a lot to Luce, and I love her personality, I love her style, and I love her, because she reminds me so much of me when I was much younger. Bruh, Luce, don't hate on Luce, because Luce is basically us. She's a reflection of us. Those of us who want to get isekai'd, especially those of us who are really, really into anime because of quarantine, and we had to like find new hobbies and interests. Y'all, there's too many isekais to count, and everyone wanting to shift into different realities, like Harry Potter, anime worlds, but we all know damn well, You would not survive a minute in those worlds. Just choose something normal, like a slice of life world. Like Haikyuu! Everyone can survive there. Just gotta watch out for flying volleyballs. Like, yes, we would all rather just be in a different world than instead of just dealing with what we have going on in our own lives, especially these days. I would say who you surround yourself with determines how you deal with life. It's like, my biggest takeaway from this episode is no matter where you are, no matter who you are, how weird you are, how quirky you may be, fantasy or reality, it all depends on who you surround yourself with. I love that found family shit, man. It's good. I've been going through a lot of stuff and dealing with a lot of issues that I wish I didn't have to. But you know what? That's life. And so does a friend of mine who was also dealing with crap in their life. But luckily we had each other to talk to, and just having just another person to talk to and reconcile with, it helped. We talked to one another and we helped each other recognize, hey, you're not going crazy over this. It's totally valid to feel this way. Validating each other's feelings and emotions. And I guess that is just my biggest takeaway from this episode. That if not for Ida and King, yeah, they were a little mean to Luce in the middle of the episode, but they care. They care for her. And I love this found family stuff. Dang, I don't know where I was going with any or all of that. And I just really wanted to talk about Witches Before Wizards. To me, best episode of the Owl House so far. If you guys are interested in learning what my least favorite episode is, / my least favorite character, just let me know. And let me know your favorite episodes in the comments below, and why for the millionth time is it the Grom episode. Thank you for your time.